really appreciate you guys all being here. To address these continuing pedestrian safety concerns, we're here today to launch the only statewide pedestrian safety month in the country, and hopefully for Hawaii to lead the nation in the pedestrian safety conversation. During the month of August, throughout the year, DOT is putting out, with our partners in the community, partners in our government agencies, putting out events to ensure that we bring, but during the month, this month, we're stepping it up. We're making sure that we work with our partners to step it up more. At this time, from the Federal Highway Administration, we have Administrator Maela Sosa and her Deputy Administrator, Ralph Rizzo. Honolulu Police Department, Chief Kealoha, and all the boys, thank you, and women, I apologize. Thank you very much. And from the City and County of Honolulu, very strong partner, Mike Formby. He couldn't be here today, but Mark Garrity, his deputy, is here as well, and his staff. So thank you very much, everyone. Each of these agencies, each of these individuals, I should say, works tirelessly on these safety issues. From the enforcement piece, to the engineering piece, to the educational piece, they're all very, very important in what we do. Our pedestrian safety educational efforts, though, across the state wouldn't be possible without our private partners, our McDonald's Restaurants of Hawaii and Moms in Hawaii. Thank you very much for everything you guys are doing. This year, McDonald's Restaurants of Hawaii, which is really, really important. The most vulnerable in our communities, the seniors and our keiki. They're helping out tremendously in all those areas. To increase awareness of being visible at night, McDonald's is hosting 7 Be Seen at Night events for us. They've created a special tray liner. Would you guys like to come up and... this tray liner that they're putting out is showing everybody tips on how to be more visible at dusk and dawn. And they're also working with Walkwise to develop pedestrian tips, brochures. So thank you very much for everything you guys are doing. From McDonald's, we have Veronica Kaneko.
Hello.
Erlinda Rosario, and Ed Yamamura. Thank you very much, guys. Through its online community and mothers and special Mamorama events around the state, Moms in Hawaii are working with Walkwise Hawaii to help parents instill good pedestrian safety habits in their kids. I don't know about you guys, but I learn a lot from my kids. So when they learn it, I learn it. So that's a great thing. Representing Mothers of Hawaii today is Chief Executive Mom Nicole Okamura. And lastly, I want to recognize from the Walkwise Hawaii Volunteer Speakers Bureau, Anita Nihe. Is Anita here? Anita is a pedestrian accident survivor who volunteers her time to speak to seniors and schools around the state to share her story about her pedestrian incident. So thank you very much. One time, let's just give a round of applause for everybody in the room. Thank you. At this time, I'll turn it over to the governor. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. Thank you so much. And I need to get one of those shirts so when I'm walking around the Capitol at night. Pedestrian Safety Month is just really important here in Hawaii. We have beautiful weather year-round, and people like to walk. We do take pride in creating more walkable, healthy communities where people can walk, jog, ride their bikes, just really enjoy being outdoors. Unfortunately, that has a risk attached to that in the notion that as people are out more, there's a higher possibility of pedestrian accidents. And that's what this month really is about. It really is about promoting awareness. It's really preparing all of our communities to think about what it means to be safe as a pedestrian. For drivers, we want them to be aware, anticipate situations where pedestrians may be on sidewalks or crossing streets. As pedestrians, we need to remember that you are your best form of defense. You need to be aware of where the vehicles are, aware of your surroundings, the Pokemon Go doesn't help us when our young people are involved with the cell phone and not paying attention to what is really happening. And I think more importantly, I think the message and for the month really is about all of us helping each other be safer as pedestrians, whether as a passenger in a vehicle, a pedestrian as well. I think encouraging all of us to be aware of the surroundings and paying attention to what it means to be a safe pedestrian and a safe vehicle driver is important. You know, we would want to make sure that we can, as we celebrate the Pedestrian Safety Month, remember the victims who never made it home. I think more importantly, though, we should celebrate the success that we will have for each and every life that we save through this month, making people aware that we can be responsible for reducing the pedestrians who do get injured throughout the month. And so with that, I'd like to present the proclamation.
I get to get it?
Yes,
Hey,
we
thank
can.
you.
Just declaring the month of August Pedestrian Safety Month.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor. This is my first proclamation. I'm going to keep this one. Again, we talked about all of our partners that share in the 3 E's that we generally talk about: our engineering portion, our educational portion, and our enforcement portion. The enforcement piece is a huge piece. And as anybody in our departments, any of our partners will say, the goal is never to give out tickets. But it's important to ensure that people get that cheap lesson to ensure that they understand what's important. Chief Kealoha, would you like to say a few words?
Governor Ige, Ed, good job, by the way, for your first time. And good morning and aloha to everybody. You know, the objective of the Honolulu Police Department is to ensure that we live in safe communities. So to that extent, we want to ensure that we live in safe neighborhoods, we walk on safe streets. But last but not least, which is relevant to today's press conference, is that we travel on safe roads, whether you're driving or you're a pedestrian. You know, up to date right now, we have 29 fatalities. And out of those 29 fatalities, 14 were pedestrians. And when we look at the stats on those pedestrians, the majority were our kupuna, our senior citizens, and the hours that's most dangerous for them was the hours of darkness. And, you know, I think that we respond far too often to pedestrian-involved collisions. So far this year, we have given 1,000 warnings and issued over 6,000 citations in our efforts to improve pedestrian safety. But it appears that both motorists and pedestrians alike need to change their behavior. So I just have a couple tips for motorists and pedestrians. For motorists, you know, the drivers need to put down the cell phone and other mobile electronic devices. Keep your eyes on the road and your minds engaged and focused on driving safely. Slow down and be prepared to stop, like the governor had mentioned. And last but not least, for the motorists, always yield to a pedestrian in the roadway. For pedestrians, always be aware of your surroundings and remain vigilant, even while in a marked crosswalk. The same for pedestrians. Put away the cell phone and other mobile electronic devices. Keep your eyes on the road. And like the governor said again, please minimize the use of playing Pokemon Go while you're walking on the street, because that's really dangerous. And last but not least, I think if, you know, both the motorists and pedestrians, we can come together and change our behaviors, that'll keep our roads really safe. So remember to walk wise and drive with aloha. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief Aloha. As I said before, it takes everyone to change the conversation at all levels of government. We're very, very lucky to have very strong and supportive federal partners, not only at federal highways, but also, I always got to read this off, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA. Our federal partners not only bring us that additional funding piece, but they also bring us a global view of what everybody else is doing, the problems they see and the solutions that everybody brings in. So we're very fortunate today to have Greg Fredrickson here. He's our NHTSA Administration Region 9 Deputy Regional Administrator. Thanks, Greg. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, Governor Ige, for having us here and inviting us over to kick off the statewide Pedestrian Safety Awareness Month. Transportation, we have choices. We all make choices each and every day on what mode of transportation we're going to take, but one choice we have that we all are pedestrians at one point in time, and nationally we've seen an uptick in the number of pedestrian fatalities as we've made those choices. In 2013, there were 4,735 pedestrians that were killed as a result. And so I'm here to raise the awareness, hopefully, and partner with the state of Hawaii. And I certainly appreciate the importance that has been put on this subject of pedestrian safety, because it is a growing concern nationwide. And I certainly appreciate how Hawaii is approaching that. To bring it back home to simpler numbers for me, on average, a pedestrian is killed every 2 hours in our country. One's injured every 7 minutes. So it's a real and present danger. And so I certainly appreciate the public-private partnerships that have come together and formed this program that we focus on this for the month of August, and it lasts throughout the year, that pedestrian issues are real. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Federal Highway Administration continue to work together to help raise awareness, provide leadership and some resources to bring folks together, and we certainly appreciate the public and private partnerships that we enjoy. That's what makes it really work in Hawaii, and we certainly appreciate that. On behalf of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, I'd like to commend the state of Hawaii for recognizing August as dedicating an entire month to this issue of pedestrian safety. It's the only one of its kind in the country, and I share this with my peers around our country, saying, why don't you do what Hawaii does? Let's raise the awareness on this issue, because it is very real and it's growing. So we certainly appreciate that. Again, with great partnerships and programs, we're confident that we'll be successful in these efforts to bring these numbers down to zero, because we have choices, and let's make safe choices. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Wanted to call your attention to our Walkwise. I mean, this is our banner for our Walk Home Safety display. You'll see pairs of slippers up on the board. Those slippers represent pedestrians who never made it home to their loved ones. So it's kind of a reminder for us that although we're getting together and although we're making things a lot better, we still got a lot of work to do. To ensure that, from the educational piece, we're always tweaking our program to ensure we improve it as we see what issues come up. Lance Ray, from our leader for our Walkwise program, helps our staff, works with our staff, our safety staff, to ensure that we keep ensuring that we improve the program. We're putting out several PSAs that are coming out very soon to remind people, but Lance is going to talk about the program a little bit more.
Oh, I think we're going to show the PSAs first.
Oh.
Yeah.
Grandpa, how many bones are in the human body?
206.
What is air made out of?
Nitrogen and oxygen.
What's the fastest animal on Earth?
Peregrine falcon.
I thought you knew you can't cross, Grandpa.
Sure you can.
You can't, Grandpa.
If a child can figure it out, so can you. It's illegal to enter a crosswalk after the countdown signal starts flashing. Follow the law and only cross when permitted. If a dog can figure it out, it's illegal to enter a crosswalk after the countdown signal starts flashing. Follow the law and only cross when permitted.
call Cheryl an accountant?
She seems fine to me.
She's always staring at us.
I don't see it.
I do. What are you waiting for?
You can't cross, dummy.
What are you calling dummy? Dummy?
You, big dummy.
If a dummy can figure it out, so can you. It's illegal to enter a crosswalk after the countdown signal starts flashing. Follow the law and only cross when permitted.
So normally at this time every year, I will lead you in the Walkwise Hawaii pledge. But we thought, wouldn't it be fun if we brought Wally Walkwise up today to lead you in the quest? Now, we end every presentation, every outreach moment with Walkwise Hawaii with our pledge, where each individual makes a pledge to us to be a good pedestrian. So at this time, I'm going to ask Wally Walkwise to do it. I'm going to step down from the frame, okay, to give him some place. So, hi everybody, I'm Wally Walkwise, and I'm no dummy when it comes to pedestrian safety. So I want each and every one of you to be a good pedestrian. Please raise your hand and repeat after me. I pledge, as a good pedestrian, to always look left, to always look right, to always look left again, and continue looking while crossing the street. Thank you, Wally. He says you're welcome. Now, Wally and I know that most of you did not walk here today, you drove here. So please remember this. Pedestrians can be hidden from view by stopped vehicles on multi-lane streets. So the next time you're driving down the road, King Street or Baratania or anywhere around the state, and you see a vehicle stopped, especially by a crosswalk, please do not speed up and pass that car. That most likely on the other side of that car is a pedestrian. It might be a little kapuna trying to cross the street who has a false sense of security that it's safe. And I don't want any of you to be the person that's responsible for ending a life. So Wally and I and everyone here ask you to walk wise and to drive wise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lance and Wally. Appreciate it. Thank you very much again for everybody for being here. Just want to make sure that everybody understands, and everybody in this room is so passionate about it. We have more people than ever using our roadways as drivers, as pedestrians, as bicyclists. I'd like everybody to be aware of each other and make sure we're safety-centric. Thank you very much.
At this time, we're going to get some pictures with the governor and the various folks